Hello, it's Tony Gonzalez from Made in Metal, and today we are going to talk to Alessandro del Vecchio, a spectacular keyboard player, songwriter, and now member and singer in Edge of Forever, who recently released his second CD called Seminole and is planning a travel to Spain. Let's see, it will be at the end of April in Santander, Victoria, Zaragoza, and Madrid. Hello, Alexandro, how are you?
Hey Tony, very nice to talk to you, and I'm very glad that we're having this discussion for the upcoming Edge of Forever shows that we're having in Spain.
So tell me, Alexandro, when did you start in the music business?
So I started in the music business when I was around 16. I signed my first contract, but it wasn't until I was 18, 19 that things really started to take off, and I started to work with lots of bands, and I had my first original band, which was called Fear and Grace. Unfortunately, we recorded an album that never came out, and around 2001, 2002, we formed Edge of Forever with some members of Fear and Grace, and that's how I began my professional career. Right after Edge of Forever did a demo that kind of created a buzz around us, I got the call to work with Andre Matos, and that really opened the doors for me. And in 2005, I was asked to join Moonstone Project and to play with Ian Pace, Glenn Hughes, Cormina Peace, and all these guys. And I've been their keyboard player and singer for, I guess, 6, 7, 8 years, something like that. And working with Ian and Glenn really put my name on the map. And in the meanwhile, Edge of Forever was already recording. We did our first album in 2004, second album in 2005. We were already, working with great producers like Marcel Jacob and um, Bobby Barth, and so that really pushed my name in the business. And then in 2011, I started to work with Frontiers, and then here we are, 10 years and more later, after so many, I guess, 140 something records with Frontiers, and literally hundreds of songs done together.
One of the things I would like to know is how is your daily routine? I ask you because I can imagine that you work at least 12 hours a day when you are in Milano working in your own studio. Tell me, please.
So my daily routine is very simple. I'm a very easygoing guy. When I'm not on stage, I'm like a regular person. My day is very structured. I wake up very early. I do my meditation and my preparation for the day around uh, 8 o'clock. I'm in the studio and I work up to 6 o'clock, like a regular job, and I do writing, mixing, producing a whole day long. And uh, during the whole day, my team is working with me, and I have two engineers and assistants working with me. So it's a whole, structured thing. But during my day, I always have time to do my workout, which is basically happening at around 6 o'clock. And I do spend time with my fiance, which is the most important thing during my day, because you can live with work, but living without the right relationship, it's not functional for at least for my existence. And then during the weekend, if I'm not touring, I always spend time with my family. So that's a very, very regular day. It's nothing fancy. But during my time in the studio, I'm very structured, and I'm very organized.
So, how can it be possible that you play and write songs for many bands around the world. How far does it take to write a song for you? What is the average of composition?
Well, in my opinion, if you have a talent or whatever size or depth, you have to create a habit for that talent in order to be able to channel it out and to be productive with your talent, if that's what you want. If you want to be productive and you want to create something and you have this need of putting out what you have inside of yourself, you have to create a habit. You have to create a constant flow. So I basically write mostly every day. I'm not a guy that's writing everywhere every day, and I don't have like hundreds of songs that are in the drawer waiting to be finished. I start a song and I finish the song. If the artist likes it, it's good. If it doesn't, it's put into the drawer or of songs that hasn't been taken. So um, I don't spend too much time writing on the songs because I'm more of a instinctive, natural writer. I do spend time to arrange it, but I don't. I like to get it done, send it to the universe, the artist, and to whoever is choosing the songs. If they like it, they like it, and bingo.
Another job that you usually do is the production. How far does it take you to produce a CD? Do you take the production song by song or taking account the whole CD?
So yeah, the production side of things is the one that I like the most. Of all the creative part of my talents, I really like the production side of things because that's where you kind of build it up, and it's also the part where you have more relation with other musicians as well. The interaction and the interplay that you have playing with other musicians is it's far more entertaining and fun and creative and cool than just sitting in your writing studio and write songs sometimes on your own. But well, when it depends. There are records where I'm uh, I'm always focusing on the general sound of the album, but sometimes there are songs that have different needs within the album context, and you have to somehow manage to represent the songs the best way. So it's not there's in my opinion, in music in general, but in productions especially, there's you don't have like a set of rules that you have to stick to make a good production or a great production. You have to represent the songs. That's your duty as a producer.
I remember that you usually work for Isa on her CDs. In Queens of Broken Heart, did you write all the songs?
Yes, on Queen of Broken Hearts, I wrote on all the songs, and it was a very creative collaboration between Issa herself, James, her husband, uh, and Brett Jones and Pete Alpenborg and Ian Atkinson. So we created a team behind the album, and I'm very proud of that record. It's a very special, different kind of album for Issa. It's more musical, and there's great playing by the band and great guitars by Simone, and I'm very proud of that album.
By the way, Alexandro, how many songs have you written so far? 500 or more?
Well, I guess it's around 600 songs uh, that have been published, and probably there's, I don't know, 200 more that haven't been published and probably will never be published, which are maybe sketches or songs that were not taken, and songs that are there in the drawer, lost in the universe.
Something interesting is that even when Edge of Forever is your own band, you don't abuse of the keyboards. When you start studying piano, don't you think to be one day like Rick Wakeman or John Lord? How do you approach to the keyboards when you write a song for Edge of Forever?
So Edge of Forever, yes, it's to me, keyboards or any instrument that's that's there in a band uh, has to serve the songs, and I do take my moments with the solos, and there's one keyboard solo on Seminole, and there's lots of keyboards on Seminole which are not prominent. But if you think, Wrong Dimension, or On the Other Side of Pain, or um, uh, Seminole as well, there's lots of keyboards. It's not like I write keyboards riff, but during the history of Edge of Forever, we've had songs like uh, Edge of Life or Prisoner that have uh, a keyboard riff. So it's all about the song for me. It's not about keyboards. And also Edge of Forever turned into the years of more like a vocal position for me. And I don't want to spend too much time playing keyboards live, and I want to sing more for Edge of Forever, which in my opinion can give a more distinctive sound to the band as well. But I do love, John Lord and Rick Wakeman, but Angel Forever is more like a hard rock band. It needs more guitars, and keyboards are very. It's keyboards are very present, but they're not, in the first place and first role for sure.
But let me confess you, when I listen a song like Seminole in part 1 and 4, I can feel maybe that you love the music of Sticks and their vocal harmonies. Am I wrong?
Yes, obviously, everybody loves Styx, and everybody loves the Eagles, and Queen, and Uriah Heep. So those are my sources for this multi-layered vocal harmonies. Yeah, Seminole sounds in those places sounds a lot like, it could be a Styx songs. In my opinion, it could be even more like Uriah Heep song. It's something that I always loved, and my love for backing vocals for bands like Talisman, and everything that Jeff Scott Soto has done uh, has always attracted me. So that's my uh, choral side of things.
In Seminole, we can find some songs like Wrong Dimension and Our Battles Rage On that we can feel that belong to Edge of Forever. However, a song like Shift the Paradigm could be a song written to another band. Tell me about this song and why did you choose it as a single?
Yeah, shift the paradigm. Also, at the beginning, we were not very sure of keeping the song. I wasn't very sure of keeping the song because that's probably the lightest and more commercial song of the album. And it was the other three guys fought for having Shift the Paradigm on the album, which it's not that I didn't want the song on the album. It's more that I felt it was different, but different is not something that's making the album weaker. In my opinion, the message of the song was great, and it was chosen as the first single. So you never know what's gonna happen when you write a song. And yes, it's more major, but if you look back at what we've done in the past, a song like Promised Land could be in the same vein as well. So shift the paradigm. I think uh, it's a song that really belongs to what we do. And at least we have a major key song on the album as well.
The title track is about the Seminole Tribe in USA, but there is something more in the song. Am I wrong? Please tell me.
Yeah, there's more in the song. There's obviously I'm taking the Seminole culture in, but I'm trying to translate that culture, those principles, that ethic, and those morals into today's world. And um, yeah, there's way more, because that's, Seminole is a song about those values and how we could learn from those values, and use them and learn from them in order to be a better community, a better humankind today. Because what we see in the world right now doesn't work. I mean, we seeing, division, wars, and we didn't learn from the past. But the Seminoles can really give us a different perspective, because they fought the hardest war against the European oppressors, but still they retained their human values, and they helped the Creeks, the slaves. They sheltered so many people during their war. So they were fighting their own war against, the United States, but they were also, sheltering people, which it's a great story. It's a great sign of great humane values and conditions, and I thought that we could really learn from that, especially today in these trying times.
Is there any opportunity to bring Edge of Forever on tour in this 2022 apart from Spain?
Yes, yes, we're very happy that Edge of Forever is taking off live, and we just came from playing in Belgium, Holland, Switzerland, and we did a show in Italy as well. And in some places, our show was the first one after the restrictions were taken off, and so it's been sometimes adventurous, because it's 2 years, um, 2 years that you've been trapped into this lockdown, and you're back on the road, and it feels good, but also you have to rebalance everything, like it used to be, or better, hopefully. And then we're coming to Spain this coming month, and it's great. It's gonna be 4 amazing gigs that we're playing in Spain, and it's gonna be a blast, because it's the first time that Edge Forever comes to Spain, and we're ready to come there and make Spain our second home for sure.
By the way, there is something that I would like to confirm. Were you part of Whitesnake recently, in the last 5 years, I think, or you will be?
Okay, I've never been part of Whitesnake. I've been working with a lot of members of Whitesnake: Doug Aldridge, Don Airy, Ian Pace, obviously, and Joe Logstra, Marco Mendoza, uh, Bernie Marsden. So I've been connected a lot with Whitesnake and Red Beach as well, Brian Tichy. Yeah, I was asked. Actually, I was asked to join Whitesnake, but it didn't work out, and they took Michele Lupi. So I guess it was between two Italians. I was just between two Italians, and yeah. But I do I did take part into the auditions. So if we want to say that, but I've never been part of the band.
In this moment, how many bands call you to play in concerts or on tour?
Well, there's lots of bands that would like to work with me live, but I'm trying to keep everything very organized and just play with my bands, with Hardline and Edge of Forever, and especially Edge of Forever needs my priority, because we're building up our live activities, and obviously I'm playing live with Jorn, and which I have been doing for 6 years now, 6 7 years that we've been working together, and 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 maybe the big deal will have some shows, but I'm not gonna join any other act because between Hardline and Edge of Forever, it's gonna be very busy, and Jorn as well. So it's gonna be tough to already schedule everything for us.
Thank you very much for your time, Alexandro. I'm glad to talk to you and hope to meet you one day in person. Let's see if when you come back to Spain, I can see you in person.
Thank you, Tony, for the support and everything you're doing for Edge of Forevers and for myself supporting my work. I really do hope that we're gonna meet along the road, and there's one thing that I can surely say, that you rock and you guys rock, and thank you for the support. I'll see you on tour. Ciao.
Have a good day. Bye bye.